better. All right. It's Sunday. It's sunny outside. It's not raining. It's not overly cold. And I'm feeling better, which means, because I just had a little bit cold or something, but it means that I can get busy on finally getting this frame job done on the Dakota, which seems to just have taken, I don't know, months to get done. And I'm ready to just finally start knocking it out. Let me show you what we got working here. So I took these plugs that you saw me make with Tommy the other day, and previously what we were doing is having them flush here and then flush down here, and I had to do a bunch of trimming. Well, I did a whole bunch more trimming, and now this bottom side here I took about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch off in different areas so that it sits on the frame on the bottom, because this frame rail is a little bit wider due to the bend or something. I'm not exactly sure, but this is going to be a whole lot easier to weld than trying to weld a corner from the bottom, because when you weld it pulls up, and if it pulls up too much it'll start dripping and there goes your weld. These are all things that I'm learning thanks to some friends that have given me some advice. So I really took some time to trim these things. It was a tedious job, but it was totally worth it. I didn't really capture it on camera because it's kind of something you have to see, you know, and trim to make it fit the best that you can. There are a couple areas that are a little bit thicker, but talking to a friend of mine, he said that can actually be a good thing and aid in penetration. So here's this one in place. I've got to bolt this cross member down, which I also sanded this thing down and painted it. Not sanded it down, but wire wheeled it down and painted it. So I'm about to make sure I bolt this in place before we do anything else. And then here's the other side for the driver's side, the plug. And what I've done, I'll show you on the back side, is I've went ahead and painted with the KBS coating the inside of this, so that, you know, we're just trying to prevent rust later on down the road. And it's looking good. I did cut a lot off. So we used to have it out to here, but because of the way that this lip is and the way it pushed the metal out, it's just going to make more sense to do one piece of metal all the way in this channel. And we're probably not going to do that right away either. This is probably the way it's going to be for a while. I'm not sure if we're going to go any further, but this will be real important to help some rigidity, especially with this cross brace, and get all this stuff welded in. That's going to help a whole bunch, and then we'll be ready for a roll cage when it comes time. All right, I think I've got you guys caught up. So let me get all this stuff. I gotta pull the clamps off, get the cross member bolted down. I'll do that real quick, and then we'll get busy on prepping the frame for welding. This will be the first time I've welded on my own truck, so wish me luck, right? It's amazing how much rigidity this thing adds. So when we add the bed, that'll be a big deal. And then when we finish up putting these plates on, that's going to be a big deal. New hardware, because why not? And we're looking good. So that dude's in. We're ready to go. Now I've got to take my flap disc and undo some of my work. And I need to grind where we're going to be putting that frame. So I've got to clean all this up, hopefully just a 1/4 inch or so of it, and yeah, we'll get started on welding. All right, well, we're cleaned up and ready to weld. I'm gonna clean it off with some glass cleaner, but I just had to grind a little bit off the frame so that when we weld, it'll stick. We're ready, other than me getting buttoned up and ready. But I've got the panel in place, and there'll be some manipulating, but at least I can do some tacks to get it in place. And so I'm going to do a couple tacks around the whole thing. I'm not a welder. This is one of the first times that I've ever done it on my own vehicle. I actually did it on the Bel Air a little bit too, but I am far from anything other than a novice. So no tips for me on this, because I probably don't know what I'm doing. I did know I turned the gas on because that's important. And I've been playing with some similar gauge metal, welding it to see the best settings that I could get on the machine. I'll show you the machine I bought. It's a Titan 200 something, Unlimited 200. It's a multi-process machine. It'll do MIG welding, TIG welding, and stick welding. It won't do aluminum, but it'll do steel TIG. So that's cool. I think you can get a spool gun for it, but I didn't buy it to do aluminum yet, so that'll be something later on down the road. But yeah, I think thanks to some help from some friends, I've got my gas set up, I've got the right wire in it, and it's kind of time to put my first tack down. So let me get all dressed up and we'll get ready, and we'll get to welding. First weld. Another one right here. Here's this tack. Looks better. All right. All right. Like I said, those are just tacks. Let's see what happens if I pull the clamp off. Good so far. I need to put one here. All right, got a couple tacks in. Some of them look better than others. A lot of oxidation on that one. The rest of them look pretty good. Now I need to get under the truck and tack the bottom, so I'll kind of get inside here, and I need to get something that I can kind of manipulate the panel with. But I don't know, it's nice to have a welder. The rest of this is going to be kind of cool, so looking forward to it. Let me get banging on this. All right, like I said, this is a learning process, and I'll show you some good stuff and some bad stuff. This is obviously some bad stuff there, where I was just first kind of learning out how to get the gun working. This is the wrong way to fill in a gap. It just didn't quite work. And then I got a little bit better here. Got a lot better on this one. It's kind of hard to see. It's pretty focused in, I guess. Anyway, and then on the top, bad, just this attack. But I started getting the hang of it here, and I like some of these welds up here, nice and uniform. But I'm a full-on bozo, because when I started, and probably where I got most of the first problems from, is I changed the lenses out on the mask that somebody gave me, and I don't know where I put it. But anyway, I'll show you my doofus award today. They come with this white backing on of these lenses, so you don't mess them up when you put them on. And I left the outside one on, and I was welding like that for a little while because I'm a goofball. Anyway, I don't know where my there it is. Yeah, you can see remnants of the plastic that I ripped off, and then I realized, wow, I can see what's going on when you pull that paper off. But it's going pretty good. I'm just resting right now. It's a little anxiety inducing. I'm gonna open the doors too because it's getting nice out, and I don't want to keep breathing all this crap in. So anyway, I'm having fun with it. It's a little nerve-wracking. I got some water on standby because I just don't want to set this truck on fire, especially in here. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So I'm gonna keep after it, and get back after it in about 20 minutes, and then see how far we can get done. But you can see that there. Some beautiful welds, not beautiful, some decent welds, some crap welds. And that's what I'm just gonna keep doing, is decent or crappy welds. That's what we got. So hopefully I'll get the whole thing filled in, and that side will be done, and then we'll move on to some other things. But I'm glad to be making progress. I think I said this earlier, but today was a long day, but it was a good day. I learned a absolute ton on welding today, kind of just hands-on experience. Obviously, I've been doing my research and talking to friends and figuring out how to get this stuff done, doing some practicing and some things like that. But I'm not a welder, so I'm not about to tell you guys how to do this. It's just something that I think you just got to put the time into, and maybe as I learn more, I'll share that with you. But they're both done, and they came out great. You know, they're not the most attractive welds in the world. This side is much better than the other, When I get in the crevice here, which should be easier, I kind of struggled. But yeah, it came out really, really good. So that's the driver's side. You guys saw me do the passenger side. And you know, not bad. I'm perfectly happy with it because the bed's going to be covering everything anyway, so you're not going to see a whole lot of it. Am regretting painting it a little bit early because a lot of that paint is gone now. But I do have the inside of the frame rails painted, which I'm glad. And I may get one of the little kits that has like a straw that you can put through and pull out and spray just to make sure that it doesn't rust. What's left now, and I just don't know if or when I'm going to need to do it, is about 2.5 foot from this corner here to where the front frame rails are factory boxed in, and that's also where the emergency brake line goes. So I got a debate on if I'm going to fill those in. They should just be some square pieces other than over here where the tank mounts. That would take some a little bit more doing on that one to get that figured out, but it's possible that we can do that as well. Do I need to go down that road right now? I don't know. I think I'm to the point where I'd like to get it back on the road, and if I really start 60 foot and pretty hardcore, maybe that's when it's time to fill those in. They actually will need at least a small piece for when we do the roll cage, because the roll cage has to go to outriggers that are supported by the frame. So it'll still need some anyway. So do we do that later? Do we do that now? I gotta think about it. I don't know. But I do think the next thing I'm gonna do is start working on putting the leaf springs on and putting the hangers on. One thing I did not think about before I welded it is this is where the bolts go, but luckily there's a hole in the bottom of the frame so I can get to the bolts for that front hanger. So we can start getting the 8.8 mocked up. So that's probably what I'm going to do next, is get the leaf spring hangers on, hang the leaf springs, and I need to go pick up the 8.8 and start cutting all the brackets off of it that we're not going to use. And kind of start getting it in place. I also ordered an angle finder so that we can measure driveline angle like it's supposed to before we get a drive shaft for this thing. There's a lot to do, but this heavy lifting is done. So I will probably just go ahead and paint it off camera. You've guys seen me paint some of this stuff already. I'm going to try to paint it with the KBS coating kit so it stays nice and coated. And yeah, we're going pretty good. I still have, this is another bracket for the gas tank that I have to paint. I don't think I'm gonna put the gas tank back in yet until till we hang the axles and get everything done. I just kind of want it out of my way in case I need to get back and forth in between things. Plus, if there's any more welding, I don't want the gas tank there being a fire hazard. So, but awesome. I welded today and I'm beat because welding itself, pulling the trigger and kind of moving around isn't that hard, but when you're underneath this thing and contorting your body and stuff, that when you're not a young whippersnapper anymore, it'll take it out on you. So I'm a bit sore. It was about 6 hours to get this whole thing done, but man, I had a great time doing it. I feel accomplished. Been needing to get this project rolling, and now we really can. I'd love to start seeing this thing back on the road. We got a lot to do. But we're well on the way. So let's just get one more look on that other side. This is kind of the ugly area, but you know, it got the job done. All right, well, I think that's it. If you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. And if you have not done so yet, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you guys along. If you have subscribed, thank you, immensely thank you. By the way, I did a live stream last night, which was Saturday, and it went pretty good. I had like 6 to 8 people on there. ask them some questions and stuff like that, and I plan on doing that some more. I did have some quality issues that I'm gonna have to figure out and do some testing on, but I would love to have you guys join in for some of those. I might do that twice a month. Let me know if you're interested in me doing that and giving you guys project updates and asking questions and things to that extent. And anyway, I'm just having a blast. You know, I don't have much more else to say other than let's get this thing back running. Stick around for the rest of the build and we'll see you next time. Until next time, you know the deal. Y'all be good.